I'm very bad at keeping secrets, so I'm going to tell you something. I have a bit of a revelation. Trust me. I'm beginning to think I'm Jesus. And the reason is this. When I walk into the bars or the restaurants or the places where I'm known, when I walk in, the patrons, they look at me and they see me come in and they turn, and then they turn away and they say, Jesus, he's back. I am Joseph. I'm a son of the universe. I'm a servant of humanity. I'm a fellow human being who loves. And I'm on a quest. It might be the quest of a crazy overgrown leprechaun, or it might be a divinely inspired hero's journey. So all my life I've been running for myself. But now, well, a while back, I started coming back to myself. All this is part of my journey, returning to myself. I ran away to kill myself because I wasn't happy with my life, the decisions I made, the life I was living. I was harming myself. So I decided to kill myself. But I was a coward. So I decided I'd do it slowly. With righteous living. And all the things you shouldn't do, I said I'm going to do it. And I killed myself slowly. So I started marching into hell. Happily knowing I was destroying myself. Spiritually and physically at the same time. And I had one step to go, just one, and I would have been plucked by the one who plucks, and I'd have disappeared forever. And at that final step, I paused and hesitated, and I found something within myself, beautiful and worth living for. Could it be my soul? So I turned around and I started crawling, walking and marching out of hell that I had put myself into knowingly. Anyway, a funny thing happened. On the way out of hell, I was meeting people, and how I got out of hell was I realized I had to become zero, nothing. I became the zero, and as I'm marching out of hell, I'm the zero, and I'm meeting people along the way, and I'm saying, hello, I'm Joseph, I'm a son of the universe, I'm a servant of humanity. Joseph, your brother. I love you and I forgive you. I hope you do the same. Born in Ireland, total 7 children. I was the one who looked most like my father. My mother hated my father, so it kind of trickled down to hating me. So I had a kind of a tough relationship with my mother. I love my mother. And so she loves me somewhere in there. But when she looked at me, she didn't see me, she saw my father. So that led to many difficulties in my childhood. And I was very in my head a lot. I think a lot, and I'd be quiet. Unlike now, where I find it hard to be quiet. But when I was young, I was very quiet, and I was in my head. And I'd hold things in a lot. And they could stew in my head, or expand and grow into things where they shouldn't have gone. They went places where they shouldn't have gone. But my father was gone. My mother was young. She had 7 children by the time she was 27. So she was often gone. And we'd be alone. My older brother, he'd take care of us. My mother could be gone for a week at a time. She'd come back. But in that time, God only knows what happened in the house. All the guys from around the streets would come in. They'd be stealing barrels of beer, bring them into our house. All sorts of shit. I've been missing for the last 19 years. And in that time, I thought a lot, searched a lot. I looked at other people. And there was another man missing for many, many years, so they say, I don't know. Christ, I don't know where he was. So I was thinking of him in my missing years. And I was kind of taking myself apart to put myself back together. This might not make sense to anybody, but it makes sense to me. I know. I was born, I was planted, and I led a life that I led. I don't know if I was fully conscious of it at the time, but I was maybe I was carried along through the life. And all through the life I had a different name. I was born with one name and given it, but I was never let live that name. And after 49 years, I made a prayer and I took back my name, and my name is Joseph and was Joseph. And when I made that prayer and took upon my own name, a change started happening within me. And I think I'm a new person, a new creation. So I have many sins and many regrets and much damage in my past life. And all I can say is I apologize and I ask for forgiveness. And I have this weird idea in this world of our Lord in 2023 that everybody I meet can teach me something, and I'm willing to learn it. And I carry a book full of blank pages and a pen full of ink. And I give myself a quest. Joseph, you gotta put all the ink in the book, but you can't do it yourself. So go walk and say hello. So I walk and I say, hello stranger, Joseph, can you tell me something wise and positive and put it in my book? Because I'm on a metaphysical quest. On the front of my book is a lantern, and a lantern symbolizes light, light symbolizes wisdom. I am on a metaphysical quest, wisdom in the book, light in the lamp, oil in me, and I become a wise man from doing this. Simple things, walking in peace, welcoming strangers, and being willing to listen and learn from all I meet. That's my quest. I have a friend, a Sufi friend. And every time I meet him, he gives me the same advice. He says, have fun. Be quiet. So, I've been having the fun. Being quiet is the problem for me. But he doesn't have the extra bits of the puzzle that I have. So there's a reason for everything. Anyway, it's a beautiful day. I just had a great lesson taught to me before because I kind of spoke wrongly to somebody. I was a little bit angry. And they were very angry. But then someone else said to me, you said, you gotta say sorry. I said, but I think I was in the right. No, you were wrong. And on reflection, I was wrong. So later I'm gonna wash their feet and say sorry. Right now I'm building up to have the real sorry to come out of me. I still have a little bit of ego attached to it. But that'll disappear as soon as I finish sweeping. And my sorry will be genuine sorry. And my lesson will be a genuine lesson. Because I really appreciate the tough teachers in my life. Tough. Give me a hard time. But sometimes we need hard times. And I'm one of those guys, I probably need a lot of hard times. That's okay. I enjoy it. Sunshine. Freedom. Freedom isn't out there. Freedom is in here. In your heart. I'm very free. Chaotic goodness. Chaotic goodness. How beautiful is that?
But spiritually, poverty is important because it expands our capacity for God. Being empty, we must await all from Him. And so the poor are particularly blessed because they live in a state of radical readiness and dependence on the Father who does not disappoint.
Thank you, Air, for saving my life. Thank you, Air, for my beautiful children. Thank you for my children. Thank you for family to me. Thank you for helping me get to the person. What's it all about? Being comfortable with myself. Who am I? Nobody. Everybody. Have I something to teach? Have I something to learn? What's my goal? What's my destination? Life? Not as you know it, but as I know it, in my own special kind of well, we'll leave that for another day. Anyway, I called out for light into a dark place and started walking on with a blank book. I came upon the book in a moment. I called out and I was brought. I called out, Jesus, God, Buddha, who the fuck is out there? Listen to me and help me, give me wisdom. None of them came. But I might have pulled a fast one with the universe, saying, I won't cut my hair, I won't shave for 7 years. Give me a miracle. I got the miracle and I got the easy part of the job. I just have to do fuck all. The beard comes, the hair comes. Do nothing, it happens. So, I came to a book, my lamp. A lamp on the front of the book, inside the book all blank pages. What? So I started walking around meeting people. I had this crazy idea that everyone I'd meet could teach me something which we can learn from each other. inconspicuous in the city. I'm a servant of humanity. I'm a fellow human being who loves. I walk around in the world as a human being who loves. And I'm happy and I'm smiling. I carry a book. And the minute I pull out my book, I think, oh, Jesus, it's a Bible. It's not a Bible, it's a blank book. I walk around with a blank book and an open mind. And I have this weird idea that everyone I meet can teach you something. Teach me something. So I offer them the page and the pen. I say, write something positive in the book. Simple and positive. And that's it, it's beautiful. And people from all over the world have wrote in the book. And if somebody writes in Japanese, they say, don't tell me what you wrote. And I got two choices. I can Google it to find out, or I can walk around until I meet somebody else in Japan and I say, hey, I'm Joseph, son of the universe. I'm going to show you something. I do something now most people think is impossible. Shut the fuck up and walk away.
I never thought he could do it.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to show you my passport. Yeah, I gotta get my passport. Give me some again. How much Santa Claus? What did you say, Santa? Say slowly. They say the clouds are lower in Ireland. I say Ireland is closer to heaven. So people say to me, Joseph, you're a bit out there. I say, I'm not a bit out there, I'm way out there. And then they ask me, did you ever take magic mushrooms or acid? I tell them the truth, no. I'm like this, the old-fashioned way, misery and suffering, and learning how to overcome it. Be like the Buddha. Actually, I'd be afraid to take them in case they became normal. I'm alive, I'm free, I'm happy. I have my magic wand.
Oh, wait till he's looking at the money. She's coming. She's going this way. Yeah, she's going this way. She's going. No, I love this guy. I love him for fucking ever.
You meet this guy?
Oh, fucking, 7 years ago. 7 years ago. I mean, this guy, I don't know. He's fucking crazy, fuck. But you know what? Anyway, he's a fucking unit. He's fucking straight on. And I trust his son. I would trust so in my life. How about that?
That's good, I trust you.
And I trust you too. Good man.
I've left the wall now, after my walk amongst the people. And I'm on the outskirts of my village. I gotta head in. Very few people will understand my journey. That's okay, I don't mind. I understand it. It's between me and God. What are you doing, Joseph? I'm doing good. G-O space D. I'm doing good. And they give you nice shoes and a nice shirt and a nice jumper. And they speak kindly with you. And they bring you down through all these corridors and they put you into a room and they lock you in and they tell you you're there for 2 days. And they observe you. There's a little hatch in the wall and they look at you for 2 days. You can't come out. And I was always running. So when I was in there I couldn't run. And there was a book on the bed. And I never read a book because I never sat still. And the book was called I Am David. And it was about a 12-year-old boy in a concentration camp. And he knew nothing, only the concentration camp. He grew up in that environment. He didn't know any other environment. And anyway, I started reading the book. And the lights were out at 10 o'clock. And I wanted to complete reading the book, so I leaned against the window because there was floodlights outside the window. I was leaning against the window with the book, and I read the book that night. And he was helped escape from the concentration camp. And then he was helped along his journey. His journey was to get back to his mother. He thought he was an orphan, he didn't even know his mother was alive. But part of the story was somebody painted him because he had an interesting face. He was a child. But his eyes stood out because his eyes saw a lot of things that his young life shouldn't have seen. And people could see it in his eyes. In his eyes he was a normal man. And somebody painted him, wanted to paint him. Paint his portrait. And there was a portrait of a woman on the wall. And she escaped from a concentration camp as well. And that was his mother. So it's a kind of it's a journey, you know. Sometimes I think like that as well, that I grew up in an environment in a life that was my personal concentration camp. And I didn't know anything about the world outside of it until I got outside of it. And then I saw a different world with different people. You know? And my world was in Thailand. I was in many countries. But I was always alone. Felt alone. But for me, my new world was Thailand. I never believed in God, but I was born in a Catholic country. But I never believed in God because I see nothing Christian about anyone around me. But when I was in Thailand, a Buddhist country, where they don't believe in God, I believed in God by looking at the people. By looking at the people. Welcome each other, helping each other. Family. I'm from a family, it's supposed to be Ireland's a big family, but I was never from a family. I was never part of a family. But I became part of a family in Thailand. I became born again in Thailand. Born a new human being, a better human being. I might have lost my mind along the way, shattered everything, my psyche and everything. My whole goal, my whole life is to become a better human being. That's it. Become a better human being. Bin Adam, as they say.
This person, the black sheep, who was forced into the shadows, is the one most likely to learn to look at everything from a different perspective. This is the one most likely to see the truth when others don't. Since they're the ones that have already dealt with the unpleasantness of isolation, they'll have no trouble seeing an inconvenient or negative truth either. Unpleasantness isn't hard to the black sheep. They're the kind of people we need more of in the world. The black sheep, or the run of the litter, is not the weakest member of the group. No, this is a shining soul. From their forced isolation and rejection, they've developed a keen sense of self and ability to be alone. And they've developed a brand of intelligence others have trouble understanding. As they watch the world from the sidelines, they've learned to think outside the box because they were thrown out of that box the moment they were born. They view everything from a different angle than the rest. And this gives them a keen edge in the process of thought. They weren't rejected because they were weak. They were rejected because they were strong. Strong enough that they did conform. Therefore, they were a threat to the status quo. They were not going to conform because conforming would be denying the truth. Yes, the world needs more black sheep because they're the ones who will shine the light on truth.
Get off the train, Joseph. And I know if I get off the train, I'm going to have a problem getting home because I live far and I had no money. I only had the money for the train ticket there and the bus from where I got off the train to get there. Get off the train, Joseph. Just fuck it. So I just got up and I got off the train and I walked in along the path. The thought said, maybe someone wants to say hello to you, Joseph. So I walked in along the path and there was a guy standing. He was flicking a skateboard. So I walked up to him and I started talking to him. I can't remember what I said the first thing. Just went up and I started talking to him and we started talking and joking and we just had a moment. And I told him what I was doing. I said, "Will you write something in the book?" And he wrote the most amazing thing that confirmed to me that I was on the right path, doing the right thing. Hungry and starving for love, for friendship, for companionship, for a hello. A simple hello. You speaking to me? Yes. Sure. You said hello to me? Yes, Joseph. How'd you know my name? I know everything about you, Joseph. What? Everything? Even the things I was doing to myself when I was experimenting? Yes, Joseph. Everything. Books say. I'm embarrassed. Don't be embarrassed, Joseph. Why? Everybody has their own little flavor of madness, Joseph. Early morning in the greenhouse. Time for some. Fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it. All these problems in your head. Fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it. Welcome to the apocalypse, the revelation of Jesus Christ before your very eyes. And it's only just begun. I'm part of another story in another part of the world where there was two brothers, a younger brother and an older brother, and something happened and somebody died and the older brother was sent to prison and the younger brother went on a journey. His name was Ray, and I know Ray. I grew up with Ray all my life. We were very close. And I love Ray. I was born Joseph Raymond. I had two names. And my first name was Joseph. But nobody ever called me Joseph. I was called Ray. And that life was on a journey. And it was all chaotic and messed up. I had many misfortunes and many things happened. Because Ray was living a life that he shouldn't have been living. It was Joseph's life he was living. And on the journey, when I went away into the world, someone said to me, pray. And I prayed to God. Whoever's out there, whatever that limited me, I prayed to love and compassion and hope. And what I came back from the prayer was, become Joseph. Become who you always were. So I became Joseph, and I am Joseph. And Ray is gone from this story. But Ray is very much alive in another story that people are holding in their heads and in their hearts. That Ray is very alive. They believe he's alive, but in this story where Joseph is, Joseph knows he's gone. But Joseph is willing to say and step back and go back and talk about Ray in their story. And hopefully, somehow, in some way, they'll understand about forgiveness and redemption and punishment. If Ray was put into prison in Ireland, like his brother, he'd suffer terribly. Like my brother Derek suffered terribly. It would happen. And then there'd be supposedly some form of redemption. Well, Ray travelled away, and believe me, he suffered more than any prisoner could have made him suffer on his journey. Because he went to hell, believe me. Because Ray was in prison many times, and Ray didn't care about prison. He could have been in prison, no problem. He was in prison as a child. But he went out into the world on his journey. He suffered terribly. What I do is this. If things come too much into the system, I stand in front of a big mirror, naked, with an imaginary suit, and I put my hand into my imaginary suit in my imaginary pocket, and I pull out an imaginary balloon. And all the stuff within me. I start blowing up that balloon. And then I walk over to the window. I open it, put out my hand, and I let go of my imaginary balloon with all my imaginary problems. And then I carry on. Fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it.
When you feel sad or under a curse, your life is bad, your prospects are worse, your wife is sighing, crying, and your olive tree is dying. Temples are crying and teeth are decaying and creditors weighing your purse. Your mood and your robe are both the deep blue. You'd bet that Job had nothing on you. Don't forget that when you get to heaven, you'll be blessed. Yes, it's all for the best.
Some men are born to live at ease, doing what they please, richer than the bees are in honey. Never growing old, never feeling cold, pulling pots of gold from thin air. The best in every town, best at shaking down, best at making mountains of money. They can't take it with them, but what do they care? They get the center of the meat, cushions on the seat, houses on the street where it's sunny. Summers at the sea, winters warm and free, all of this and we get the rest. But who is the land for? The sun and the sand for? You guessed, it's all for the best. Some men are born to live at ease, doing what they please, richer than the bees are in honey.
Your life is bad,
never growing old, never feeling cold, pulling pots of gold from thin air.
Your wife
the
is
best in every town, best at shaking down, best at making mountains of money. They can't take it with them, but what do they care? They get the center of the meat, cushions on the seat, houses on the street where it's sunny. Summers at the sea, winters warm and free, all of this and we get the rest.
Don't forget that
who is the land for? The sun and the sand for? You guessed, it's all for the best.
Some men are sad that he's doing what he wants to do. Are in high. Your life is bad, growing old, never feeling cold, pulling pots of gold from the air. Your wife's a sigh, best at shaking down, best at making mountains of money. They can't take it with them, but what do they care? They getting a run with the meat, cushions on the street, where it's sunny. You let that show in the sea, which is warm and cold, and you get the rest. Don't forget that when is the land for the salmon you'll get. Yes, it's all for the.
You must never be distressed.
Yes, it's all for the.
All your wrongs will be redressed.
Yes, it's all for the.
Someone's got to be oppressed.
Yes, it's all for